Итак, всем привет, давайте знакомиться. Меня зовут Vitaliy Pedash, я работаю в компании Traffic DNA и занимаюсь тестированием мобильных приложений. Сегодня я хотел бы с вами поделиться своим опытом, чем может быть полезен меню разработчика на Android для тестировщиков. Поднимите, пожалуйста, руки, кто уже знаком с этим, либо хотя бы слышал. Отлично. Надеюсь, те, кто уже знаком, почерпнут что-то полезное для себя, те, кто не слышал, после доклада будет использовать. Мое знакомство с меню разработчиком началось 3 года назад, когда я устроился молодым тестировщиком в одну компанию. Это была продуктовая компания, которая разрабатывала свой продукт, в том числе и для Android. И с тех пор я начал разбираться, с помощью каких инструментов все-таки возможно тестировать Android. И с тех пор у меня накопилось опыт определенный, и я хочу им поделиться. Итак, в рамках доклада я сегодня хочу рассказать о следующем. Что такое режим разработчика, как его включить на устройстве, расскажу о функциях, которые, по моему мнению, будут полезны тестировщикам, которые могут использовать, и в заключение расскажу, как отключить. Итак, что такое режим разработчика? Режим разработчика — это такое меню специальное, которое содержит ряд функций, которые дают более широкие возможности пользователю для прошивки устройства, установки какой-то кастомной прошивки, для дебага приложений, для сбора логов и так далее. Список там очень большой. Итак, мы разобрали, что такое меню разработчика. Первое, с чего начнем, это как включить его. В зависимости от версии меню разработчика бывает как доступно, либо его нужно включать. До версии 4.1 меню разработчика включено по умолчанию. Начиная с версии 4.2 и выше, меню разработчика необходимо активировать. Процесс активации достаточно простой. Вы открываете страницу настроек, скроллите вниз, находите страницу о телефоне, находите номер сборки и тапаете по нему 7 раз. Все это
visualized through notifications that demonstrate how correct you are in doing this, and then it's uploaded into the folder. There are situations when you have to add it up, and the system will tell you about it anyway. As soon as you tap it 7 times and it becomes available in developers folder, it appears on the same setup page at the bottom of the page. And then the final stage, for you to use it, you find a menu, enter it, and then update the slides, and all the developers' functions become available to you. So we have sorted it out. Moving on to the sections, the developers menu is made up of a number of chapters. During my presentation, I will tell you about some of them. There are many more of them actually, but these functions, other functions are less useful for the testers. So these are the names of the chapters, sections. Moving now to the features of functions. First one is the basic setup of parameters. This is like a combination of everything when the developers put all the functions that they were aware of, which is not related to different sections. They put everything together and made a haphazard helter-skelter of it. The first part is the report about the error report. What kind of function is that when you make applications sometimes crash and you need to prepare a bug report, and you do not always have this in Android Studio, or your crash folder is not set up, and to get some information or access to the device, you can do it with this function. The general idea of this function is quite straightforward. You test your applications. When your applications crash, as soon as it crashes, you open the developers menu, find this function there, and tap it. After that, you will see the window where you need to confirm that indeed you want to get all the logs from your device. After that, you confirm it, wait some time, depending on whether it is a personal device or a testing device. It could be up to 5 minutes you need to wait. And after that, in a notification, you get notice that the log file has been compiled. And after that, you find a notification center, you tap it and confirm again that you understand what kind of information adds up in the log, and you take full responsibility for that, and then you select the method how you're going to share this log. So I'm drawing your attention to this notification because often there is some personal information ending up in the logs, and that's why before sharing these logs to developers, please look at whether there was some personal data there, because once we found the personal communication in logs, so if you don't want developers see your personal communication on the project, I recommend looking at it first. Moving on to the next function, it's called include the HCI Bluetooth broadcast log or ledger. This function is useful when your application works with Bluetooth, when you need some external data from, say, fitness bracelets, from smart speakers, and whenever you send the data, you need to capture some external traffic to see what kind of data you submitted, and this function can help you with this. This function is quite straightforward. After activating this instrument or tool in the developers menu, all this traffic is going to be written down in the file. Usually it has a log extension. It is stored in the root folder, and that's where the whole Bluetooth traffic is recorded. And usually when we record all these applications, you test it, run all the tests, and then you find this file and open it up with any application which can analyze the traffic. I more often than not use Wireshark for that, and that's an example of how we open this traffic. You can see it on the screenshot, where you can clearly see what kind of requests we send out and which responses we receive back, and you can work with that. Next section or function is called unblocking or factory unblocking. Do you have experience of working with such devices? Chinese manufacturers as A8 model. You're lucky. Unfortunately, I had such an experience. Why I'm asking this, because the main particularity of that device is that there's a lot of malware, pre-installed malware. Often, rather always, when you get this phone, your notification center crashes right away. It's because of the malware installed on that phone, and in this case we're talking about this malware wants to predict my fate and the horoscope. These viruses have learned to do other things now. For instance, this is a screenshot of such a device. What do you think is wrong about this? What kind of errors can you see on the screenshot? Do you see anything wrong or funny? Yes, right. If we compare here and here, the virus learned to install applications, and they install it quite smartly. They show the icons over the most popular app icons, hoping that when you launch that icon you won't accidentally launch that malware. And not to have such a problem, all the mobile device manufacturers want to block access to operating system, which is responsible for the installation of the operating system and for all these backups. And there are situations anyway when you need to get access to the factory settings, and when you develop application for the customer who have a customer system, and when you need to install such a suite, you need to get access to the uploader, and to get access to the uploader you can easily do this. You simply activate this instrument, this tool, and that's it. And after you're activating it, you can rerun the installation files, you can set up backups, and a whole set of functions can get access to. At the same time, there are two negative things here. When you unblock the factory settings, you lose the warranty to the device, and the level of security to applications goes down, and it can be jailbroken, and your personal data can be stolen. So we're done with the functions. We move to another thing called setting. This setting functions can give you more opportunities for debugging on your application. Most interesting function is called fictitious location. Just like with a Bluetooth, many applications use GPS module for identification of the selection of different types of information. Many people have used at least once Uber application to find an Uber cab, or how to order food, deliver a pizza, and for that GPS module is used to select the closest shop or restaurant to you. And in that case, if you use this, where you can set up the radius of search, and if you're testing this application, you will have to test these things when you're within the radius, when you're on the border of the radius, when you're beyond the search area, and to check against all these cases in real life, you will have to travel around the whole country to make sure that it works well. It's good if you were developing the application for your own country. If you were developing for a third party, then only travel to that country can help you with that. Of course, nobody is going to pay for that. And with this function, you can check these cases, because this function can give you an effective location of the user, and this way you can set up that you're in Antarctica, for instance, and check it against operational functions there. You can only replace your location here, but to replace here you need to install third-party application. Mostly I use for that the application called Fake GPS. It is available in Play Market. You can download it and install it. It's free of charge, and you just simply install it. Open it up, and if before you download it and install it, you didn't activate the effective GPS positioning instrument, it asks you to do that after you activate it. You will see the working field of this application. Working with this is quite intuitive. You have a map and a pin. With a pin you can show the location which you would like the system to identify as your current location. And you install with this pin the location where you would like to be. You just simply press the play button, and ever since then the application works. If you did it wrong in notification center, in notification bars you will see a notice which shows the coordinates where you're located at the moment. To check that everything is done right, usually I open Google Maps and specify my current location. If everything is set up correctly, then my location in Google Maps will be fully in line with that pin that you put in the fake GPS. Ever since then, you can start testing the application and different cases that you want. If you need to change your location, simply return back to the fake GPS application, correct or change the location, and relaunch it again. And after the testing is done, I recommend switching off this function. It's not always do you test it on your device, or you can test it both on your device or on a testing device, and somebody else might start using this device. And there was a case when after testing it, I didn't switch off this function. And my junior came in, took the phone, and started to test his device, and he started about 20 different bugs, but it wasn't a problem with the bugs because the GPS was not working correctly. So please don't forget to switch it off. You just press the stop button, and ever since then your fake GPS is offline and the location is detected correctly. I can't hear the question from the phone. No, it doesn't change it. It's only coordinates. Next section is about the enter the text. Most of the chapters in the developer's menu, the title is not always in line with the content or with the general idea. It's like Windows XP. Windows XP had an entertainment chapter. Out of all the entertainment, they only had a volume regulator and audio recording. So basically the same is here. It's called enter text, but the functions of it gives you much broader opportunities to test interaction of the user with the interface of the application. The first function of this chapter that we could discuss here is to show clicks. Sometimes it's necessary to record demo or report that you need to prepare, and sometimes there are difficult cases, and for your video to be more informative and interactive, so that user can see which elements you're pressing and what sequence after activating this function. The click area will be highlighted by this white dot, which can be easily seen on the video, and the person who is going to watch this video will understand in what sequence, when you pressed what areas, especially if the application interface has a lot of graphical elements. It's very useful and helps a lot in reducing the number of questions to you for those people who will be watching your video. Next function is called show the touches. The main sense of this function is similar to the previous one, to make your video more informative, whereas in the first case we showed only clicks. In this case, you will see this broken lines that show the direction of your swipes or touches, and in the same way user will be able to see it on the video, and the person watching it will clearly see what you were doing, like if you wanted to update the page. Now, moving on to the next section. This function is called drawing. What kind of understanding do you have? What kind of functions do you think is hidden behind this title of drawing? Any suggestions? It's graphical, of course. I think expectation was some kind of paintbrush working with graphics, but in real life, the function of this chapter or section helps you testing rather the layout. So the first function of that drawing chapter, which one we have used to testers, is showing the borders of the elements, and it could be functional and graphical requirements. And if you're lucky that when the customer asks you to be a pixel-to-pixel layout, this function will help you check it, because after its activation, the layout of the application will be shown like this network, which makes it convenient to visualize and see how elements are placed next to each other. You can see different margins, pairings. In this way you save a lot of time and nerves to do this kind of dull thing as testing the layout. This function called right to left is appreciated by those people who have to test localization of different applications for Arabic-speaking countries, who do it other way around, who place elements on the page from left to right. And the bad thing about testing this thing, when I had first experience, when you switch it on your device, the Arabic language, you test it, look at the device and think, how can I return it back to my native language? The first thing I did, I put two devices next to each other, one with the Arabic language and another with the Russian. On parallel did it. Only this way I could return my language back to the device. This function allows us to avoid it, because after activation of this function, you have an imitation of Arabic language on the device. Basically, all your elements are going to be placed according to the rights of rules of Arabic spelling from right to left, and you won't have to worry about how to return it back. Moving on to the next section called monitoring. Here, the title of the chapter is fully in line with its contents, and the functions of this chapter help you test the consumption of resources by your application. Most interesting functions here is called showing the uploading of the central processor. After you activate the slider, you will see in the top right corner the following information. The first one would be the central processor, about the, and then how convenient is this? First of all, it allows you to save time for testing. Secondly, you don't need to look into this Android Studio that helps you test the performance of. You don't always have time to test the CPU performance, but with this function you will at least understand whether you still have some leeway on the using the resources of the CPU, and then applying different functions you will see how the CPU performance changes and so on.
The function works simply, as I said, you simply launching, testing your app and watching which scenarios you have a high central processor load. You draft this case and tell your developer, then this in that case I have this load, and you get a response that we know that this is a problem, or with the help of Android Studio they'll start profiling and sorting this out, why it happened. Now we move to the last section, which is called apps. The functionality of this section allows you to test cases that are possible in the real life end user, but were impossible to repeat during the testing process. One of them is called don't save activities. The idea is that I'll give you an example of the browser work. This regular cases when we open the tab and a website and browsing it, switching between links and publications. From time to time we need to go back to the previous page, and the results that we want is that we have the previous page with valid data. Exactly in this way, it's the life cycle activity in Android works. When you open the app, you have a functionality called task, which stores the history of the open screens in your app. When you first open app, this task is created, where the record that you open activity 1 screen on this particular moment. When you open the second activity, you have 2 records. And the system says that currently you have second activity open. When you open third activity, all this information gets stored. It so happens that the system can forcefully delete this information, only leaving the information about the current activity. It happens when system needs resources for another application working at the very moment. If the processes and ways of saving data is implemented with mistakes, if system deletes the activity history and the user wants to go the previous activity, the app would crash. When I first learned about this function and tested it, I found about 10 crashes linked to it. The idea with working with functionality is you activate this function, and in every screen of your app you watching the app when you go back to the previous page. Particularly, the problems arise at the stages when the data saving fails, thus crashing the app. It so happens that after testing, I recommend that you turn off this functionality, because apps are implemented with mistakes, not only by giants like Google. I once forgot to turn off this function and wanted to send my email, and my application crashed because they had a problem with saving data, so I went back to the previous activity. The app simply crashed. So we're done with functionality. In conclusion, I will tell you how to turn it off, why you need to turn it off. Every team has a person who makes mistakes from time to time. That's their destiny. I had to work with a guy whose name was Valera, who made mistakes every day. And he kept to the last point, which says, don't make it worse. He had the following plan for the day, and to decrease the chance of him making it worse, you need to simply turn it off. It's a simple process. You open the settings page, see the properties of the app, move to the native app settings and remove all the data, delete all the data. Then it is removed from the list of settings, and if you go back, you simply repeat the cases in the new build and you get the developer menu. Now I think I've done with all the information that I wanted to tell you about functionality, but there are many more functions, about 3-4 times more than I told you about. If you're still interested in this functionality that I omitted, you can find a huge number of links hidden behind this QR code. You can scan it and read them later. If you have questions, we have some experience of work using another functionality, I would be happy to receive a message from you at every messenger. I'll be happy to answer and help you. Please, you can now ask your questions. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. My question is the following. Do you use farms? And is it possible to launch this mode at the farm? There are some restrictions, maybe peculiarities while using it at the farms. Thank you for your question. We don't use farms, but you can turn it on. Doing the same as I choosing this devices that you need, activating them. I once had to do it, and it worked. Thank you for your presentation. About the fact GPS, there's an app that I came across recently. We measure trajectory and the path that the person covered in the car. There's an app for drivers. There's a wonderful app called Mock Locations, where you can set a route. You set points for it, but the single issue with it is that you need to make a setting that to use a fake position. And also, from time to time, it is following the route, but all of a sudden it goes back to his whereabouts and back, and then it starts going down from that moment on. It's actually cured by the analysis of the covered way, but have you come across this? Can it happen that GPS is detected not by one source but by several, using several sources? using the Wi-Fi, the 4G. All of a sudden they catch locations from another cell phone tower. I understand. We did come across this, had a case like this, but I think you can set the speed yourself. You can put the coordinates and the case. We had a similar case. We tested this app when a user launches an app during the airline mode, and the app simply crashed. We did find this bug and fix it. But never really had to deal with the problem like you told me. Thank you. So that's it? Now I'll give t-shirts to this guy then. This ticket. Thank you.